Hi, welcome back. We are working on InDesign and animation of objects within InDesign. The last time we talked, or a previous video we did, was animating this cover. So let's go ahead and take a look at that again. I'm going to come over here on my animation panel. I'm going to come to the lower left and I'm going to pick Preview Spread EPUB. Let me pause this and let me make my preview here a little bit bigger. There we go. And I'm going to click on the clear button here. Then I'm going to click preview and we'll take a look at it. Okay, so that showed us a little layering of objects. Objects like the bus and the taxi following a motion path. The other items were fading in on presets. Pretty straightforward. The most intensive thing on that was kind of separating the things or objects within Photoshop so they could be animated. We're going to come over to the index page here and take a look at this, and I'm going to play it, and then we'll overview some of the parts on how you make it. Bring this out, and I'm going to go ahead and preview this page. So what you're going to see on this page is basically just a table of contents. What is unique about this page, there's actually 5 animated GIFs going on. If we start up here in the upper right, this is a video clip. What I did is I brought this into Photoshop and I just converted it into an animated GIF so it wouldn't take up so much room. Down here's the same thing, another animated GIF, and I just have it looping. Right here you can see the background moving just slightly back and forth. So what I did in Photoshop is I isolated the lineman and all the equipment from the background, and then I just animated the background moving back and forth randomly, just to give the illusion maybe some trees moving back and forth back there. Up above is another animated GIF. I just took this still image and I removed the lock loop here, I'll call it, put it on a different layer, and I just animated that back and forth into an animated GIF and then saved it out. Over here is also an animated GIF of these items or these bars climbing. Then I eliminated these bars, drew them myself, probably in Illustrator, brought it into Photoshop, and then these individual bars or columns here were actually animated within Photoshop. Again, just basic animated GIFs within here. Before we go too far, there's also some buttons here over top of each one of these items. I don't have them wired up, but there's buttons here to go to different pages within the document. So I put my text frames in, then I just drew a rectangular frame above it and turned that into a button object that would go to a certain page, and then I had a home button to come back to here. So all of this is pretty straightforward stuff. I do want to show you, in case you don't know, how to convert a video clip into an animated GIF or GIF. So let me go into Photoshop here for a second. And I'm going to open up a file here. And this is a file I just directly opened up in Photoshop. Let me close it and I'll reopen it so you know I'm not pulling your leg here. File, open. It's an MP4 file, so I'll go ahead and pick this, and as soon as you bring a video file in, it opens up the timeline panel so you can play this.
The upgrade to a digital electric meter is very quick. It's usually less than a minute. The first thing that happens is...
Okay, so this is this clip, and I'm just going to drag it along here until I find the piece or the section of the clip I want. So let's say right about there. I'm going to come over here on this left side. I'm going to trim this down to this frame. This is the first frame I want. Move my playhead back here. Let's see how long this is.
Discontinued to the home, but it's only for a short while. Once he pops that new digital electric meter into place and it starts to flash like it's doing now, power has been restored to them.
Okay, so I'm going to shrink this down to while he's still looking up, and maybe right about there. Okay, so now this is the part of the video clip I want. I'm going to go up here to image, and I'm going to look at image size. And let's see here, let's change this to pixels so I can understand it. It's not very big, it's actually ideal. It's 640 by 360, which isn't very big. The whole thing's probably 605 kilobytes at this point just for this image. So that's ideal. Also, what I'm going to do here, here's how I convert it. I go File, Export, Save for Legacy. And remember, this is an animated GIF or GIF, however you want to pronounce it. It'll take a second here, and then this Save for Window comes up. Make sure it says up here, GIF. You can bump this up to the highest amount of colors. You can see how it's kind of dithered this together. Let's change it to 256, and that should make it a little bit better when it kicks in here. And then what I'm going to do is I'm just going to come down here. I'm going to do a animation loop forever. I just want it to loop, loop, and loop. Down here, I could preview it. I'm just going to go ahead and save it. So we'll name this, how about, let's see here, meter swap. And I'll save it back into my InDesign Interactive folder. I'm going to click Save. And in a matter of seconds it's done. I'm going to quit out of Photoshop. I'm not going to save this. And then now I'm back here in InDesign, and you know the drill at this point. If you want to bring in a video file, I'm going to go under File. I'm going to go to Place, just like I normally do any other object or asset I want to bring in. I'm going to go to my local folder. I'm going to go to my interactive folder. I'm going to come over here and pick one of my favorite column headers here called Date Added. That takes me right here to meter swap. And I can just drag this out and put it right here. Now let's go ahead and preview it and see if it does preview. I'm going to go over to, let's say, the animation panel, and I'm just going to click on Preview. I'm going to clear this preview, then do this one because we added the video. And there it plays. Okay, so we put animated GIF in all of these positions just to have a little bit of motion and interest in the table of contents page. And then, of course, we went over on these rectangles here over my text frames, and I actually added a button to it, and that button is just taking it on release or tap, go to page 20 of whatever the page is within your document. So I just wanted to give you kind of a real brief overview on how you can use video and or animated GIFs within a project to kind of spice up your table of contents page. Next time we'll go ahead and we're going to show you how to animate a page like this. And let me change my view to fit in window. This is an advertisement, and that's just the way it looked. In fact, let me back out here a little bit. And the biggest challenge on this was to bring it into Photoshop and split up all of these parts. But we'll talk about that when you come back. And let me go ahead and preview this just to tease you. Clear and preview. Very nice. Okay, we'll see you next time.